Okay, then let's get into this haves and have-nots review of last night's episode. We start off, of course, it's Amanda's funeral. It just let out, well, I guess it just let out because by the time we really see the cemetery, everybody's kind of leaving, but actually the episode starts out where it left off last week with Wyatt and Hannah. He was getting ready to tell Hannah the truth, but Veronica intervenes, tells Hannah, Mrs. Cryer needs you. So Hannah goes on to tend to Catherine, and so Wyatt and Veronica have it out. Now, as messed up as Wyatt is, and all of that, he actually was the only person in the room at that point that actually had a legitimate point. He committed a crime, and covering it up did not help anybody. So Veronica, she's making all these comments. They're gonna love you in prison, blah blah blah. You know, that kind of stuff. And Wyatt told her, "Well, you can go to prison, of course, because she obstructed justice, and she's a lawyer and all that, so she could go to prison." But I guess she doesn't think that she's gonna go to prison for what she did, and she also committed arson. So if that came out, she'd go to prison. I'm sure there'd be some ladies in there that would like Veronica, but Veronica's not seeing that. So Jeffrey, he proceeds to taunt Veronica about Jeffrey, and he says, well, I enjoy seeing you squirm because there's nothing you can do about your son. He lights up his eyes light up every time I walk in the room, and he gets a, you know, I don't have to spell it out. If you watch the episode, you know what Wyatt said. I'm not going to really say what he said. I mean, the dialogue on the show, it gets pretty out there, but you can imagine what Wyatt said, what kind of reaction Jeffrey has to it. So Veronica, she turns the tables on Wyatt. Are you sure you don't enjoy the attention from Jeffrey? And Wyatt kind of shuts her down, like, go to hell. And he goes on, and so Veronica, she tells Jim, you need to get your son under control. He's out of control. And of course now she's going to have Wyatt in her crosshairs because he can bring her down for having that car, and that in turn would make her, like I said, that would put her as obstructing justice. Then we get to the cemetery, and Candace shows up. She pulls up looking great for the funeral. Of course, Hannah comes up to her. You get out of here. You don't need to be here. And blah blah blah. All this. Of course, you know Hannah's not gonna want Candace there because Candace is just there to make trouble. So Candace, she's like, what are you afraid I'm gonna do? What am I gonna do? And she kind of she goes over to the Criers and says, oh, well, I'm sorry about your loss. Amanda was my friend, such and such. And Catherine asked Candace to come up to the house later for the get together after the funeral. So and Hannah's like, you better not bring your lady to that house. And Hannah, her reaction to Candace, the dialogue is, that is the black mother's reaction to her child when her child has stepped out of line and is just acting a fool. You know, it's not a reaction of like, I totally hate you, but it's like, you're getting on my nerves, and I'm going to let you know that you're getting on my nerves, and you need to get back in line. I don't care how old you are, stop stepping out of line. Anyway, that was Hannah's reaction, like very strong black mother reaction. So now we get to the district attorney, and I'm guessing this is a judge that she's talking with, because he's pissed that she's pursuing the case against Wyatt, that she arrested Wyatt. She said, well, he confessed in the confession room, and he confessed outside of their house, so he did it. And but as far as the police know and the authorities know, there's no evidence to prove that Wyatt did it. They need that car. He wants her to find the car or otherwise stop pursuing this case. And then the DA also brings up arson at Veronica's house. She was probably trying to destroy evidence, and the judge is like, well, no matter how hot the fire is, it's not going to incinerate a car. So the DA, she's clearly boxed in at what she can do, but she's not giving up. So from there, we see Celine and her son Carlos, her son by Jim, and he comes by her place, and this is actually the first time we've seen Celine's home. So I'm guessing we're going to get a little bit more, learn a little bit more about Celine's life, other than outside of just being the Friar's maid. So Carlos comes over. He's brought her some groceries, and he asks her why she's not at work, and I got off early. We know she got fired. He sees her uniform in the trash, and he says, your uniform's in the trash. Did he fire you? And no, and she's making all these excuses for Jim and blah blah blah, and saying that he's going through a lot right now. He just lost his daughter, which is Carlos's half sister. She wants him to have some compassion, and Carlos says, well, we're his family too, and he's never cared about us, which is a good point. But Celine, she's convinced that Jim loves her, that he wasn't always like this. She's really annoying, and Carlos is trying to drop some real knowledge on her, like, he doesn't love you, he's married, and she's all like, well, he doesn't love Catherine, he's never loved her. And Celine's being real delusional at this point. So we'll see where that storyline goes. But I think we're going to get a lot more Celine this season than we did in the previous ones. It's going to be interesting to watch her. So we get Maggie. You've seen with Maggie, and she's hired a PI to hire Veronica, and they're back at the Pryor house now for the reception, for the little get together after Amanda's funeral. And the PI takes Maggie outside because he got some stuff for her. Maggie opens up this envelope, and what is in the envelope, or what is in the folder? All these pictures of Veronica and Benny carrying on in David's truck less than 12 hours ago. So this is some real good stuff for Maggie to have stumbled upon. And she wants more information about where David's truck is, and she wants her PI to seek out more information about that. So he says, well, it's in a dangerous neighborhood, so you're going to have to, pay me more to go down there. So I guess he's going to go down and try to get more information about Benny, which in turn would get more information about Veronica. And so we'll see where that goes. In the preview for next week, looks like Benny might get caught, but I think they're faking us out in the preview. So from there we see Melissa arriving. She arrives at the Pryor house, and Veronica's like, she's like glad to see her. Veronica has this kind of I guess you can call it phoniness with everybody. Only time she's actually genuine with someone is when she's angry and just throwing these darts. Because David's like, he's really trying to say Jeffrey does not want to see this girl, and she's like, go away, go sleep with Maggie. And telling her that never happened. Veronica saying, you're lying, you're lying, you're lying, lies, and the same old stuff. And then she says the smoke wasn't enough, and David's like, his face is like he doesn't want to believe that she said that, but she actually said that. So it's clear, abundantly clear now that she tried to kill him. He doesn't really want to believe it, but it's out there, so he's got to believe it. So then we get a scene with Wyatt and Jeffrey. Now, these two, Wyatt plays some games with Jeffrey. Okay, so here comes Jeffrey in. He's telling Wyatt, drink some water. Wyatt calls him the nagging wife, whatever. And Wyatt's got a whole bunch of smart stuff to say, and he's all to Jeffrey's like, you know you want to turn me out. You know you want me to pitch for your team. And Jeffrey's like, what? What are you talking about? Like he doesn't like he doesn't know what's going on. And Wyatt starts asking, well, what were you doing with that guy in your room? Are you just like fully out the closet now, messing with guys now, all of that? And Jeffrey says, yes, we did, and it was good. And Wyatt's like, please, I don't need the salacious details. Keep them to yourself, man. And Jeffrey goes kind of into a delusional mode, like, oh, stop pretending like you're grossed out. You need to just come out and get with it. And Wyatt's like, what are you talking about? I'm not into you. I'm never going to be into you. I know you got some big dreams, but this big dream right here, never going to happen. Which I'm not sure where they're going with this story. It seems to me that Wyatt is just messing with Jeffrey, trying to, he enjoys seeing his motor running and all that, and just taunting him. But we'll see where it goes. I don't think anything's going on between Wyatt and Jeffrey, but you never know with this show. It can go everywhere. So here comes Landon in. Landon has been listening to the little conversation. Wyatt is leaving, saying, here's your perv. And before Wyatt left, he said, I told Jeffrey, I know you're going to watch me walk away, so maybe I should take this jacket off so you can get a better look. And I'm like, Wyatt, cool it. So Landon comes in and he starts dropping some knowledge on Jeffrey. He's like, he doesn't want you. He's straight. You need to let it go. Of course, Jeffrey, he always he never actually cops an attitude with the people that are talking down to him. He really cops it with people who try to tell him the truth, and he does that with Landon. Look, that happened once, and it's like, I guess he thought it was a mistake and all that, and he's just trying to, he's trying to put Landon down, and why don't you go out there and do your job with Maggie? So Landon, he backs off. Once Melissa and Veronica and David come in the kitchen, Landon, he goes on. David tries to get him to stay, but he says, I'm not going to be a chess piece in your sick game. I don't blame Landon for not wanting to be a part of that mess. So he's out of there. So, David's trying to stand up for Jeffrey. He's saying you don't have to talk to Melissa. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. Basically, you just got to be who you are. Don't worry about your mother. And Veronica doesn't like that David is kind of taking her on, and he's like he's saying, I guess wait a minute, how do you put it? He says, I thought we were even with all this, and no, but Veronica is not, of course she's not done getting even. She says, I gotta get out of here to get even more even. And David, I guess he's thinking like, well, I get you just said the smoke wasn't enough. What more could you do? So she gets on out of there, and Melissa, she tries to talk to Jeffrey. Jeffrey doesn't want to hear anything she says. She's like, I'll be right over here in the next room, and goes on to the next room. So next we get a scene with David and Maggie. Now Maggie, she's got this information, this bomb, and she's dropping some truth of her own now. And she wants to talk about Veronica. She said, David, are you sure she's not trying to? And David's like, trying to what? I'm like, I don't know, trying to kill you, like she just did when she tried to when she did burn down your house with you in it, but you got out, so, and she admitted that she tried to burn you out. So David is kind of like Jeffrey. He plays dumb when people are dropping the truth. Maggie clearly was dropping the truth. Veronica is unhinged. She thinks she's being replaced, so she's going off the rails. And Maggie knows it, and David knows it, but David does not want to admit it. David keeps trying to hold on to Veronica. Well, she wasn't always like this, so David is also similar to Jeffrey in that way. He wants to cling to someone who treats him like dirt and really is not, couldn't really care less about him anymore. So Maggie, David tells Maggie, well, I can't talk to you about my wife because you're attracted to me. And Maggie says, I'm not. And I thought Maggie was going to try to lie and say, and I said, how can you lie, Maggie? You know that you're into David, you just said. And she said, I'm not just attracted to you, I see you, and I want you for myself. And every time she treats you so badly, she makes me want you for myself even more. I want you to be mine. That's what she said. And I'm like, Maggie. The thirst is real. Veronica may be crazy, but she's David's wife. Unless David's crazy, he's going to hold on to that crazy because he knew her when she was not crazy, and I guess he's trying to salvage whatever is left of that. And so, on from there, Maggie says she has connections and she knows that there was arson. And she says, well, you're going to have to let go of the $3 million insurance claim because I can't bury this story with an insurance claim that big. That would be a big elephant in the room. You can't bury a story with an insurance claim that big. So he basically says, well, I got to eat it. I can't report it. I'll just have to say it's something else. And Maggie says, that's a lot of money. And she's looking down like, you really love her, don't you? I guess he does to eat $3 million for someone who just tried to murder him. Crazy that David is. But Maggie gets ready to pull out the pictures and show him Veronica's antics with Benjamin Young. But Maggie thinks better of it, holds on to that weapon she has in her arsenal. Might be useful to her later. Those pictures, we haven't seen the last of them, and I think Maggie's going to use that at some point. If she thinks she can get David with it, she's going to use it, but I think she's keeping that weapon in her arsenal for now so she can make better use of it later. So we get the scene with Jeffrey and Melissa and Candace. So they're outside and he's trying to get the valet to bring Melissa's car. Candace walks up and she's like, well, she's wondering what Melissa's doing there. And she, Candace has got to say all sorts of crazy different things. And she's wondering why Melissa would do this. Makes no sense. And Jeffrey says, well, my mother paid her to do this. And Candace is like, what? And the whole thing, Candace, when this whole story comes out, when Melissa lays it all out, Candace's face is like, what? It's like it's almost too crazy a scheme for Candace to have come up with. We know she can come up with some crazy schemes. But anyway, Melissa lays out everything that happened. Melissa's mom borrowed $500,000 from Veronica. Stupid idea. Veronica takes the family's house and business as collateral. The father needed money for treatment for cancer, so that's why the mother borrowed it. And so the business is not doing all that good, so Veronica was threatening to foreclose unless Melissa did this favor for her, and that was to get pregnant by Jeffrey, make him straight, all of that. So Veronica vetted her like she was vetted Melissa like she was running for president, make sure that she was the right one she wanted to do this. She was the right one she wanted Jeffrey to be with, or force him to be with. And it was crazy, because Veronica had her testing her ovulation cycle for when she was most ready to go, ready to cook. That's when she sent her out with Jeffrey, and she kept testing her. She wanted to be sure that Melissa was pregnant, make sure that she got pregnant, and Veronica is absolutely nuts. So Candace wants to be sure that this is the truth, so she says, well, you come to the hotel tonight, we're going to get some pregnancy tests and check this out, see if this is legit. And Candace is like, she just tells Melissa, bye girl. Melissa goes on. So inside, Candace goes inside, she has her scene with the Pryors. Wyatt's all, jumping bad. What are you doing here? And Candace tells him, sit your alcoholic A down. And so the Pryors invite Candace into the study or whatever, and this is the study where Jim and Candace got it on, and Candace makes a comment about breaking the couch in. So Candace has a sip of whiskey that Jim gave her. Well, she makes him sip it first, because of course, Candace is smart enough to know that somebody might try to poison her. I mean, she's pulled so many tricks. People out to get her. So Candace finds out why they wanted her to come there, and they want answers. And Catherine's like, what did you do to my daughter? Basically, Candace says, I'm not taking the blame for that. The question is, what did you do to your daughter? And she makes a smart remark, I thought you could afford a better grade of whiskey. Candace turns to leave. Catherine picks up this wine bottle, smacks her over the head with it. Candace is knocked out. That's how the episode is. Was not expecting that ending, but I was surprised that somebody got one over on Candace, but Catherine got one over on Candace then. So